Alright, hi, welcome. I'm Twelfthman. I'm going to be copying my good friend Mike Davis and doing a FUMBBL recap, replay, thingy majiggy bonanza. Tell you what, let's get back to the beginning of the match first. That makes more sense, doesn't it? It was the semi final of the SAWBBL League against my good friend Pedda, and it was a hell of a match, and I just wanted to talk about it on FUMBBL to show you just sort of how much of a match it was. Look at the time 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 56 seconds. That's a long old game of Blood Bowl. And this is on FUMBBL, where you don't even have to roll any dice. It's all just done for you. So you can see what sort of game it was. It was my Khemri, which are here. I had a lot of Khemri. I had a lot of skills. Stand firm and guard, stand firm, block, blah, blah, blah. Lots of horrible blitzers, a lovely strength 4 blodging thrower who's completely fair and legal. A few other chumps with a few other skills, loads of rerolls. And we had a relatively bare bones Skaven team. I think he even had to bring, a mercenary here, so he was actually turning up to the game with less than 11. Of course, he's cheating because he's got an agility 4 thrower. And where is he? Where is he? There he is. A movement 10, flipping sprint, bloody horrible gutter runner. So I think I had the moral high ground going into this game. As you can see down here, if I scroll up slightly, let's go right back to the beginning. He buys himself 3 inducements. So there they go. We've got Glart Smash Rip Senior, Glart Smash Rip Junior, and a Mercenary Blitzer, because of course Pedda only had 1 Blitzer in this case. So these guys are going to be interesting. All this juggernaut making short work of my spammed stand firm. In theory. So let's start with the game. I'm obviously the Blues in this case. Up the Blues, woo! I chose to receive, which I do quite a lot with my Khemri. I guess I like the opportunity of having all of my Tomb Guardians on the pitch in offense. Oh, crumbs, that's loud. Let's turn that sound off. How do I do that? Sound off. There we go. So here we go. I receive the ball. I use my lovely kick-off return. He's got kick here somewhere as well. Yeah, there it is. So I was surprised he didn't go for a wizard in this game, because I was thinking the one thing that's really going to ruin my day is a flipping wizard. But thankfully, he didn't go for one. But we'll see whether that made a difference or not. My lovely thrower showing us yet again how not to catch the kick-off. Okay, the first of several perfect defences. Sorry, spoilers. He's obviously setting up aggressively, hoping I'm going to fail the pickup. And I suppose hoping he can steal the ball from me before I can get going with it. And of course, failing to catch, but Khemri, Kel Surprise. For those of you at home aspiring to be Khemri coaches, I do something. I was about to say, here's a tip for you, but in a minute I'm about to do something stupid. So here's me thinking, trying to get some damage in, but then of course I charge in, completely forgetting to mark this guy here. So I very brilliantly start the whole. My first action of the game basically is a 1-die blitz. Genius, well done, me. Especially against Skaven, though, if you're Khemri, assume that assume you're going to fail the pickup and act accordingly. Don't just put everybody up on the line so you can punch some rats and get some removals, because that may happen, it probably won't happen. Assume you're going to fail the pickup. So, for example, here, if I move my skeleton back in, there he is. This situation now is quite nice, because even if I fail the pickup and the worst case scenario is probably it bounces to here, I've got a lot of guys around it. Just in case any Skaven decide they want to try and be silly buggers. I mean, luckily for me, I didn't fail the pickup, so now I have a nice little cage. I mean, it's a bit of a weird cage. It's quite a wide cage, but it's still a cage. Alright, now, remember how I said all my Tomb Guardians have all got lots of skills? Guard, stand firm. Guard, block, stand firm. He doesn't have stand firm. Stand firm. I have 3 guards stand firm, and they have been the linchpin of my whole team for this whole season. And now, my poor old guys, they're so used to being able to withstand all these flipping hits. And now look, got the both downs. Firstly, that wasn't even that wasn't a good example because I didn't get pushed around. But blitzed with Juggernaut, if he had got a push, I would have been moved. And this happens a lot. So count how many times I can actually use stand firm. Okay, so we've got a removed Tomb Guardian, which is bad. We've got a removed skeleton, which is also bad. So I'm 2 guys down already, except one is a knockout, one got regenerated, so it's not all that bad really. And then he double skulled himself, or rather both downed himself on a blitzer. So now it's time to make some progress. I try and hit Glart Jr. straight away because he's a horrible rat who, frankly, has no place being on a Blood Bowl pitch. He's far too mean. I had to progress a bit, you know. Khemri forming a cage. My movement 5 Toon Guardian here is eager to show off his new skills. Pedda liked to mock him a lot, saying he wasn't ever using his movement 5 to his fullest potential, which was true because he just spent a lot of time in a cage. So this series of blocks is a bit crummy. So observe the. Bearing in mind, he got a skull both down on his last block to end the turn. That was another skull both down. Then we have another skull both down. And then we have another skull both down. But because Pedda knew this one was coming, because it was 4 in a row, this was actually a blitz with Glart Smash Rip. So he was able to at least push my guy away. And then form a horrible screeny cage. Horrible things. And then, of course, punching a few skeletons because that's what skeletons are for. So in this situation, let's have a look. This is an interesting thing because with Khemri, you like to push forward. Pushing forward is what you do, is what you're good at. Having 1 fewer Toon Guardians than I wanted kind of sucks. But the fact is, I'm still the strongest out there by quite a margin. So if I mark enough people, I should be able to make some progress. So what do? I hit a random little line rat because screw that guy. I don't knock him down, obviously. Don't be silly. And this is where I start just marking some people because I'm thinking I've got loads of guard, loads of strength. I should be strong enough to just mark people and cause a nuisance. So that's what I've done here. So what Pedda does, quite rightly, is look for the 2-die blocks. And there weren't any, so he creates one. And I think that's pretty much the only one he's going to get. There. And that sucks, you know, stunning my dudes, but there we go. I suppose he could do one over here if he really wanted to. Oh, sorry, there's a cat on the microphone. Oh, hello, cat. Cat. She's rubbing her head on the. Oi. Do you want to be on the webcam? You can be on the webcam if you want. She's being a bit. What are you up to? You can see this tail in my face. So he's looking for the 2-die blocks. There aren't many. So his options are try a 1-die block or just run the hell away. And I think the fact that he's got lots of blocking, Juggernaut, and everything means he's not going to run away. Look at him. So there we are. That's another instance of Stand Firm not being able to be used, which is sad. Actually, that might be the first time it doesn't get to be used. He fails a dodge of the line rat, but who cares? So he's left me lots of nice blocks here, which is pleasant. Let's hope I can do some damage. Right, here we go. Did you see that? Right, double skulls. Count the double skulls. See if you estimate now how many double skulls you think are going to be in this game, and we'll see if you're correct. Okay, so firstly, that's a flub double skull, and then a push on a guy with Stand Firm, so he gets to stay right there. Then I'm just going around and trying to hit some guys with my Mighty Blow. Not that it did bugger all. I think I broke the armor, I guess, there with it. But not making any real progress this turn, but that's okay. You don't have to progress every turn. That's an important thing that coaches, some newer coaches, don't understand. You don't have to progress every turn. It's nice, but you definitely don't. Especially with a team like Khemri or Dwarves, you can spend a turn or 2, or 3, just staying where you are if it's worthwhile. So let's have a look here. Pushing a few guys. Is that the one without Stand Firm? Yeah, that one doesn't have Stand Firm, so fair enough. So again, I've got some nice blocks here. What do I do here? Punch Glart Smash Rip Senior again. He stands firm again. He was a monster with that bloody Stand Firm, but I can't really complain. I've got lots of Stand Firm as well. Double skull. See it? That's number 2. Thankfully, though, I can re-roll it successfully, and off I go. So, run a few guys around, make a little cage. I was tempted to try and leave a cage corner open to try and free up some more guys, but this is Skaven we're talking about, and if you give them one gap, they're going to flow through it. So, a few nice blocks here again against my poor Toon Guardians. What did they ever do to you? Did he have Stand Firm, that one? Yeah, so that was the Blitz there, the Juggernaut Blitz, blocking out the Stand Firm again. That was a bit of a shocker for Pedda. So this thrower here, He's agility 4, so he's a bit of a beast, bit of a hero. But yeah, he decided that dodging was not for him, and he ate a reroll while he'd done it. So, what have I got here? Just a few blocks, I think, to free myself up. A lot of it's just. Oh, no, that wasn't senior, that's okay. Oh, yeah, this is an interesting turn here. So, actually, think about what you would do in this situation. A lot of the Skaven here are all tied up. You've still got the gutter runner here and these gutter runners. I mean, assume the gutter runners can get out. That's the way you do it. So, my Tomb Guardians are all busy. So, do I stay here and try and cage up with them, or do I think now's the time to make some progress and rely on my 2 Blitzerars and my Strength 4 guy and my couple of Skellies to see squiggly lines to the end zone? By the way, did he spot it? Guess what? Double skull again. Ta-da! That's 3 so far in this drive alone. So, what I do decide to do is, as you can probably tell, is make some forward progress. My kind of mentality here is I'm assuming he can usually get to me in some way, shape, or form, but it's just if he can get to me, can I at least make it so he's not going to be able to knock me down very easily? Strength 4 and Blodge makes that a lot easier. So, this is nice for him. What I would have done, though, if I were him here, is he goes here and here, you see? That's not what I would have done. I would have gone up for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would have stood there. Because at the moment here, there's a chain pushing opportunity. Someone blitzes up this way, bump, 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 and I'm away. If you stand them there, though, I've got to clear off 2 Skaven all of a sudden, which is not so easy. But he does what he does, and off he goes. So that was lucky for me, failing this go for it here with this blitzer. And he's the mercenary one, so he ate the loner reroll as well. But I mean, as he said, it was a 1 anyway, so even if it wasn't a loner, he would have flubbed it. I suppose, though, if he had succeeded, what would have happened next? I suppose he would have just tried to dodge all these guys out and hope for the best, but very nice of him to leave his movement 10 gut runner next to my tackle mighty blow piece, but my tackle mighty blow piece didn't fancy it today. So now I'm in this interesting situation where it's turn 7 and I might be able to stall it out for another turn, but I think actually if I can, I'm getting out of here. So this is the chain push I was telling you about. Blocked myself free. Thankfully he went down, otherwise this guy could have blocked him back. And then it's just the go for it to score, which I'm sure will work out just swimmingly. And it does. Whew. But now I've given Skaven 2 turns, which for Skaven is loads of turns. So let's see what he does. Right, here we are. So, what he did interestingly, so let me pause this a second. Right? Okay. So, here's the situation. I've got my 3 big strong guys on the front and the standard 1-turn touchdown defense behind, trying to stop him from getting his 1-turn touchdown attempt. It makes it more difficult because he's got Juggernaut, which makes things awkward. And just because of movement 10 and strength, and movement 10 and edge 4 and all this nonsense, it would have been probably not that difficult for him to get through. I imagine he would have, well, I don't know how he would have done it, but he would have figured it out. But what he does, and quite cleverly here, is he doesn't set up to do the 1-turner. He goes, well, I've got 2 turns, so I'll just do it in 2 turns instead. So he sets his guys up here, ready to flood through the bottom. However, unluckily for him, guess what I get? Perfect defense. So I step all of my beef at the front, and I put all of my decent guys at the back. So I bring on my strength 4 guy and set my 2 Blitzerars up at the back. So this is all my mobility at the back. Assuming he's going to break through, it means I can go and be a bit of a pest. So let's see what he does. Clark Smash Rip does a blitz. I mean, why break the habit of a lifetime? But yeah, guess what? Double skull. And thankfully for him, his loner works, because that would have cut it short, because I would have basically punched this guy out of the way and then probably just ended my turn. There we go. You ain't going to score this turn, Gov. But luckily for him, it works. So now it's time for him to try and cage deep before the ball gets thrown down, which is what he does. So he's getting to that point where, because he's got this many gutter runners on the field, he can't protect them all at once. So he's going to have to start exposing some to blitzes, which is never nice. And what he's done here is, I found this interesting. Oh, that bit as well. Oh, look at this nonsense. This is interesting. he's given himself 3 different receiving opportunities. So what I'm thinking is, can I mark them all at once? The answer is yes, of course. I can blitz this guy out of the way and stick somebody on here. And my diving tackle piece can just about reach. So what I then try and do is knock this. Firstly, just get in the way a bit. Try and block Glart Smasher Senior. Because I realised that if I block this guy down, if I'd blocked this guy down and I blocked this guy out of the way, then my movement 5 guy could have actually gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and hit the ball carrier, which would have been hilarious. But unfortunately, I thought that was a bit stupid. So I knocked this guy runner into my big wall of flesh with the intention of marking these 2 with my diving tackle. So off he goes, makes a go for it, and there we go. So these guys are in a pretty crummy situation. They've both got tackle and diving tackle against them, plus no rerolls. That's pretty crap. But this guy is still technically, was he in range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, he's in range. So I'm trying to knock him down. So I throw every dice in the whole world against him. But he has none of it. So then I think, I know what I'll do. I'll throw a block with this little skeleton. And check it out. So, firstly, skull, both down skull. I mean, I've not got block, but then neither does he. So maybe I should have done that. But I think, no, I'll re roll it. I mean, if I get both down, I'll just take it. But what's the worst that'll happen? And then, boom, triple skull. So, oh, all the skulls. So, he does some quite clever maneuvers here. He effectively, I believe, this is the one who he hands the ball off to, and he has to free him up. So the way he does that, well, you'll see what he does. So he blitzes with this gutter runner, runs around through here, straight into there for the 2 dice against him. So I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that at all. So fair play to him. What I would have done here, it's an awkward situation. I would have potentially have been tempted to try and block this guy out of the way on a 1 dice, maybe. I don't know how I would have done it, but, well, you'll see what happens. So here comes the pass. Whoop, off he goes. Happy days. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus. So now he's in this situation. Or maybe it was him I would have blocked. Then he would have gone, where was he? He was here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there was no easy way through. Never mind. But so he dodges out of here, fails it, but makes the reroll. Off he goes over the line and bonk. Oh. So I was chatting to Pedda on the blower at this point, and yeah, he was quite sad when that happened, as I think I would have been, because it will change the whole scope of the game. Because this is a semi final, it goes into overtime, meaning if we're a tie at the end of this drive, we get 1 more drive, not each, 1 more drive between us. And yeah, if he'd scored then, if he'd scored quickly again, I would have been boned. We agreed that the dice were crap for both of us, but I mean, they were really crap for the whole game, but at least they were crap for the 2 of us, so that's okay. Okay, so we get a pitch invasion, a lovely kick there. In Khemri terms, that kind of kick is what we call a loss when it goes there. So more both downs because, you know, why not? Nice blitz here, and guess what? More both downs, I think. Oh no, he doesn't get both down there. So now he's playing keep away because he's thinking, okay, well, he's going to want to score in as little time as possible. He already said to me I could either play for the draw here and I get the kickoff in extra time, or somehow try and score twice. But he quite rightly plays cautiously at this point because there's no reason to progress. I mean, well, look at it. What's he going to do if he charges forward? Skulls on both downs, but thankfully that 2 Brigadians got block. Now it's time to just go make a few friends or instigate the old Khemri Wall of Pain initiative, which is just stick all your strength 5 guys in the way and hope for the best. So there's obviously a weakness at the bottom here, but in order for him to flow through that bit, he would have to commit quite a lot. So I'm quite happy with it as it is. Here we go. Dirty player going for the big foul on the gutter runner, and of course, flubs it. Bye bye. Never mind. Who needs to foul anyway? Fouling is for ruffians, for uncouth people. So what does he do? He marks that guy ready to be thumped quite heavily by Glart Smash Rip. I think he was hoping the claw was going to do more. It did alright in the very first block against the Tomb Guardian, but then it just sort of fizzled out. But hey, que sera, sera. So off he goes. He hits this guy. Is that the strength 5 one? The movement 5 one? No, that's the stand firm one. It doesn't knock him down, but it does push him away. So he's obviously going up top here. Being Skaven, naturally he can just change sides if he wants to without any real drama. But I've got to respond to this particular threat because if he doesn't change sides and just charges through, then I'm boned. So I go and hit a line rat because, you know, bugger him. Let's use some stand firm. Let's use some mighty blow. Obviously, the game had other ideas, so I won't do that. Knock him down though. So I'm trying not to overcommit to the top, but I have to put, as I say, some people there. I decided to go mark some people instead because I was thinking if I leave him free to maneuver, then he's going to just wiggle his way through. Whereas if I can do this, so that's my strength 4 blodger there. Yeah. This becomes awkward to get through. He's going to have to do it with one of the big guys to knock him out of the way because of stand firm. He's not going to knock this guy down because of guard and strength 4 and blodge. So he's not going to be able to get through this way, meaning he's going to basically have to come around the bottom. So let's see what happens. That's the blitz there, so we can maneuver. Here come the gutter runners. Movement 10. Oh, it's obscene, isn't it? And as you can see, he has deftly manoeuvred himself that way. There goes the skull. So there have been quite a lot of one die blocks so far, and they'd all been alright. And this was the first one that failed, which I think was. We were both expecting it for a long time, but there it is. Okay. So let's see what happens. So punch some Skaven in the face. Aha! Removals. There we go. The first Skaven leaves the pitch. Took long enough. And the second Skaven leaves the pitch. So that foul had left me 1 man down, and now I'm 1 man up. So that was nice. Which means, because I've got more guys than him, I can start bullying him and getting in the way. Marking all his guys. I can mark all his non-maneuverable players, which is very nice. That was not a skull down. That was a skull both down, not a double skull, but there we are. So I'm feeling okay here. He's again, he can probably swap sides again if he wanted to, but there's too much just kind of caught up in Tomb Guardian land here. So let's see what he does. That was the block, not a blitz. So this guy runner's off. Where's he off to? Again, this is something I need to keep my eye on more because I keep missing these gutter runner blitzes. They just come from absolutely nowhere. I mean, I completely missed that again. I'm looking at this situation over here and I'm like, there's no Skaven nearby. I'll be fine. What's he going to do? And then, yeah, this guy blitzing this guy, you just don't expect it. But he does it. I don't think he knocks me down, but it certainly gets in the way. Is that my diving tackle one? No. Glass Smash Rip knocks a few guys down. You know, so standard. So he's fairly heavily committed on this side now. Obviously, being Skaven at any point here, he could just zip away. But I've got to start doing something. And I figure out if I do this right, I can get diving tackle on all 4 gutter runners. So I do. Except I knock one out. So that's another one there. So that's the side stepper. So I decide to keep him where he is. And I'm thinking in this situation, this is awkward for him to get through. He could have gone for a 1 dice there, probably. But without block, that's not nice. And, well, we'll see. I then have to try and mark the thrower because I think the blitz is going to come from here. And I put him somewhere I probably shouldn't have because that way he can just run in. What I should have done is put him here, I think. Well, mind you, it wouldn't have made much difference because he could have then dodged in through that way. Anyway, here comes the thrower blitz. He fails to dodge again. Match 4. What is it good for? Straight in here and knocks him down. And I think he stuns him here. Does he stun him? Yes, which is pretty big. So he's off. Goodbye, Scutter Runner. Goodbye, Skaven. And there are all his mates. So, yeah, this was well done here. So, suddenly he's got a whole swarm of Skaven here just asking to be punched. So, I've got to basically not play for this turn, play for the next turn. Try and knock a few guys down, but make it obvious that he's not going to be able to stall for another turn. That's what I've got to try and do. So, I mark his ball carrier with some tackle. I mark all his non maneuverable players around and just try and Try and get in the way. Make a dodge of the skeleton, because why not? Bloody glass smasher there, absorbing all these blocks. So he runs his thrower back just in case things go tits up, but they do not, and off he goes. So now I've got 3 turns to score, which with Khemri isn't so great. And I have this interesting situation. Do I try and stall out? Do I try and just play defensively and wait for the kickoff for the extra time, or what? I sort of go for a bit of a halfway house. So I've got enough guys at the front so he can't swarm through and overwhelm me. But I also have scoring threats. In theory, if I could pick it up, I can still progress enough to score, but it's going to be tight. So, knocking a few guys down, knocking a few guys out, which is always nice. It was nice to see the armor rolls start behaving themselves. So, I'll run a few guys back because, like I said before, always assume you're going to fail. You have to. Perhaps I shouldn't have run this guy up to this point. I should have kept him further back. But there we are. And pick up time. Bum, bum, bum. He's flubbed it, which means scoring is going to be very difficult. So here we are. Here come the Skaven. Here comes Skaven. Doo doo. And oh my god, there are loads of them all of a sudden up in my face. And yeah, there goes another reroll on the go for it. But yeah, this is crap because this is a block sidestepper. This is a blodge stepper, and my tackle is all marked up. And this tackle's all the way over here. So moving this guy is not going to be easy. So what do? I decide this time here. So this was an interesting conundrum. I decided what I would do is blitz away this guy and go mark these 2 gut runners with a diving tackle. Knocked out again, which was a nice Brucey bonus. So this meaning it's hard for him to move these guys in theory. But I make the pickup. Because I'm like I say, assume I fail this pickup. What do you do in this situation? If I fail to pick up here. Where is it? If I had failed that pickup. So let's see what would have happened. That's my receiver, by the way. If I failed the pickup, the worst case scenario, of course, is it goes boink, boink into his hands or somewhere here. But assuming it lands somewhere around here, this is the only guy who can score. These guys would have to make 4 up dodges without a reroll to free themselves up. So it would have been just down to this guy. It wasn't perfect, but it was, thankfully, it was enough because I picked the ball up anyway. And I thought, where can I go? Because if I can stand anywhere, these 3 guys combined could potentially take me down. Because they all assist each other, they get the pow, ball goes down. So I thought if I stand here, which is next to a gutter runner, which is fair enough, a bit crazy, but with the guard here, there's not an easy way for him to get all 3 Skaven prepared. He'd have to run 1 up to here, which is fair enough, then make the diving tackle dodge to there, and then have to do, well, the same thing again. Wouldn't have been easy. Fail that block, but there we go. Fail that block, but there we go. Make that block, knock him down, which was nice. And try to foul him off the pitch, but he doesn't go anywhere. Oh, by the way, I knocked out Glart Smash Rip Jr. I forgot to mention that in the last turn. So here's his last ditch attempt to try and take the ball from me. What he does is he sticks his blodge stepper doofer, what's it, on there. He fails the dodge here. And with tackle means obviously he goes down. And he doesn't re-roll it. You might be thinking, why? Because this is an overtime game. The way overtime works is when you go into your next drive. Sorry, I'll start again. At the end of turn 8, a coin is flipped. Whoever wins the toss gets to decide whether they kick or receive. Any re-rolls you had at the end of the second half are carried over. You don't get any new ones. So this is all you get. So if he'd re-rolled that, what would he have really achieved? And it would have meant that if there was extra time, he'd have 0 rerolls and I'd have 4, which is quite an advantage. Additionally, when you go to the end of overtime, if it's still a draw, it's a dice roll to see who wins. And any rerolls you've got at that point add to your dice roll. So it's beneficial to take that failed dodge in this particular case. So I've obviously got to try and figure out the only real way I can do it is pass the ball to this schmuck, which is never good with Khemri. Passing tends to not work so well. So moving this guy out of the way wasn't too much of a drama. Is that the blodge stepper? No, just knock him out of the way. I've got to basically chain. The only way I can get this guy free, really, and still be able to pass is to block this guy. But because of Blodge Step, I've either got to knock him down or take up every available space. So that's what I do. Get in the way, throw a nice 3-die block against him, and push him out of the way. So go for a 3-die block here because I'm greedy. And here comes the throw. Dun, 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 dun. I decide not to risk the go for it here. I could have made it a 4+ pass instead of a 5+ pass. But, you know, what's the point? I would have needed both go for it. And Blodge and Strength 4 is awesome. Armor 7 is shocking. And the floor doesn't care how strong you are. If you throw, you go for it. Armor 7, yeah, I would be highly upset if he failed to go for it and died. So I decided to throw it from here. And what happens? The pass is successful. Oh, he fails the catch. Rerolled and he fails it again. Oh, so we are in overtime. Look how close it was. Look how close it was. Okay, so we're in overtime. I win the toss, which is huge. I've got basically my whole team back. In fact, I have got my whole team back apart from the one guy who got sent off. Pedda is, unfortunately for him, missing his super thrower and missing Glass Smash Rip and missing just a random schmuck. He's still got 11 and he's still got all his gutters and he's still got one of the stars, but he's looking in a pretty relatively poor way. So the question is, can he stop the tide of Khemri? Kick off return again. That kick is not the greatest, but I'm not in a rush at this point. What's nice is with overtime, because it's golden gold as well, whoever scores first wins, I don't have to stall it out until turn 8. I can just stall it out for as long as I need to until I'm safe. So there's really not a rush. I can take as long as I want, as long as I can get to this point at some point in the drive, I'll probably be fine. So again, I'm assuming here that I'm going to fail the pickup because that's what you've got to do. Punching a few guys in their face because that's also what you've got to do. Looking for some removals. None yet, but that's okay. Night is young. And successfully make the pickup again, which is awesome. And again, I didn't blitz that turn, but I didn't need to. So he's charging on down. He's basically going to try and lay the pressure on as much as he can. He gets the knockdown on the old Tomb Guardian, but he stays on the pitch. Don't get too stand firm though. Sad face. I can't remember why he was doing that. I think it's so he could get the. Was that the 2 heads one? I'm not sure why he went in there. I think it's so he could go around and mark him, maybe? Was that why? Let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm sure he had a very good reason for it. But he snake eyes it, so whoops. Go for a few blocks. I don't want to progress through here because there's too much splodge. So I'm going to try and go around. Removing a gutter runner there was nice. So I have to accept that my Tomb Guardians here are going to get blocked up, but that's okay. That was annoying. Bloody frigging god. So I instead decide to progress towards the centre. Like I said, I'm not in a rush here. So as long as I'd rather play it safe. And I just mark everybody up. Because at the moment here, I have the numbers advantage now because he's lost that gutter runner. So having both the numbers advantage and the strength advantage is, of course, huge. So he's going to try and do whatever he can. And I think what he decides to do is mark me with Blodge Steppers and hope I fail something. If he can at least keep me busy. His best case scenario, really, oh, that was sucked, was can he keep me from scoring at all and hope he wins the coin toss at the end? So he's oh, that was quite funny as well. He always kept threatening that he was going to use his Weeping Daggers on me because he knows how much I hate it. And he got the casualty with the Gutter Runner, but it was a seriously injured one anyway, so he didn't get to use Weeping Daggers. But still, that was nice for him. And this is here, the Blodge Stepper now on my throw roll. And that could potentially be quite big. And a few knockdowns here means I'm in a bit of an awkward situation, but thankfully, with all the strength, I can pretty much block my way free and keep myself relatively safe. So that was a big choice as well. So I knocked the Blodge Stepper out with a random Scaly Belly, but he decided to use the Apo to keep him on the pitch, which was probably sensible. I mean, losing players sucks. Winning tournaments is awesome. Winning leagues. So I think it was worthwhile. That was me stunning Fat Glarp, which was huge. Because that meant I could next turn run all my Blitzras away. I couldn't decide where to put that guy at that point, so I stuck him there, inside this cage. Because I thought, in theory, of course, he could block this guy out of the way and then charge in, but he's still never going to be able to get an easy 2-dice block on me. Oh, there's a random casualty at the bottom there as well. My mentality was, I can't stop him from hitting me, but I can make it bloody difficult for him to do any damage. Or to actually get a decent block on me. So he decides not to take the bait and instead runs his cowardly Skaven body away. He uses his last reroll at that point because he's thinking, I've got to do something pretty magnificent soon or I'm completely boned. Unfortunately, he skulls himself out. So at this point, with half the Skaven team on the ground, I should be able to make some decent forward progress. Obviously, hitting a gutter runner on the way out. Because it would be rude not to, wouldn't it? I sort of messed this up a little bit, I think, because my cage is not perfect because it has Skaven in it, or Skaven next to it. But again, with all this strength and the strength 4 blodge and all the guard, I should be okay, basically. Do I go for a foul here? Yeah. Random cheeky foul. Doesn't do anything. Never mind. That's the Blodge Stepper. That's currently the biggest threat because he's going to be potentially just sat on my guy causing all sorts of mayhem. That's why I wanted to get rid of him. So he dodges himself around there. Basically, just trying to get in the way. I'll speed up a little bit now. Using his Juggernaut on my stand firm again. Rude. And that's my turn. And it's pretty straightforward from here on out. Just block my way forward. Don't give any ground. And that's it. With all the extra strength and all the extra block and all the extra guard, it's really not that difficult just to plough my way through anymore. And I can knock out some Skaven while I'm here, or stun them. So, yeah. And then he does what he can. But he's basically got to pull something pretty magnificent out of the hat, and he's got to do it very soon. And that is not how to do it. He forgot, unfortunately, I had diving tackle there. So that was always going to be a bit of a hero dodge. Diving tackle is an awesome skill on Khemri. So, yeah. Whoop. Sorry, buddy. So now, this turn, I can get myself into a position where I'm 6 squares away without too much drama. So I use my movement 5 guy, take this guy out, and just progress. Put my throw ra this space here, which is 6 squares away, meaning unless he can stop all avenues of escape, then I'm essentially going to walk it in next turn. Meaning he's got to stop. Well, he's got to just block this whole space off, which is not going to be easy with a small team. I failed the foul there, but never mind. And I think he skulls it here. Yeah, knocks himself down. So I can just charge it in after I obviously hit this guy. Because I'm mean. And that's it. Full time, 2-1. That was a hell of a game. It was a really, really, really good, tight game. It didn't feel like 3 hours. And those are the best sorts of games. And yeah, could have gone either way. Thankfully, it was me, which means now I've got to play a Chaos Dwarf team who have never lost a game. Never even drawn a game. So that'll be interesting. However, I got 2 skill ups in this match. And one of these guys got block, I think him. So now I have 3 block, stand firm, guard, tomb guards, which is a bit cheating. And this guy rolled a where is he? This guy rolled another plus strength. So now he's strength 5. Which is interesting, but there we go. We'll see how that works. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.